think you've had a nice amount of time. The next steps, pretty obvious. Let's get into SmackDown. I didn't really watch it. I watched Bad Blood, AJ Carmelo. So I didn't watch SmackDown, but we gonna run through and see if there was anything that really stood out. Bad Blood was a high star rating the show, and then just finished watching the Raw a bit a while ago. AJ Styles coming back got me a little upset about it. I'm not going front. Team up. Then who's this? Chelsea Green dumpster match. Oh, that shit looks crazy. Didn't get to see it. Last time I saw a dumpster match was I think Kalisto and Braun Strowman for real. Maybe Rey Mysterio. Throwback stuff either way. A surprise attack, Tiff, briefcase, bad blood. Yeah, a lot of go home stuff. Naomi beat Tiff. Yeah, a lot of go home show stuff. Nothing really to write home about. Oh, triple threat ladder match. That had to been something, man. And I'm glad that it happened. I hope it was enjoyable for the crowd paying attention. Yo, let's get into Bad Blood right now. CM Punk and Drew McIntyre did exactly what needed to be done, man. After 3 months of all of that hellacious nonsense, they was putting each other through some good, some bad, most good though. I'm proud of them, man, and I hope that they could just be professional moving forward. So far as like Phil and Drew go, it was definitely an inspirational, just meeting in the violence. You know, I really appreciated watching it. It was I didn't know what direction it was gonna go, and even called an epic trilogy. It was something that we always looking forward to, and I'm 100% sure that there was good reviews all over it from all sides that matter. So I liked it. That was good. All right, Nia Jax beat Bailey. Um, Nia Jax on the pop up was great. Bailey's great, and Tiff running out was solid too. I thought it was okay stuff. Moves the story forward. Nia Jax as a champion is good. I'm really enjoying finally now what we can begin to cultivate in this new era of how the entertainment's going. Like we have some characters that have definitely been solidified, and now Nia Jax has officially arrived as women's champion. Let's see what else she's doing with someone else. I know the whole thing with Tiff is right whenever that gets there, but I'm not rushing it. Let's see what else she could do. I think she should get another solid victory against someone, but I'm not rushing the idea. Whatever though. We love late night here. Damian Priest, Finn Balor, solid match. They were going at it. A whole bunch of the nonsense. I'm trying to see. Look, they're good, man. It's something for them both to do. Since I'm thinking back on it, Judgment Day thing, like everyone is in a really good spot. You don't want it to fizzle out. So I would say maybe maintain it, but have them going in their next directions. I think even Dame was speaking about it in a press conference. Like there's other things to be done right now, so we're not really pressing on, the yesterdays of things, but we'll see what happens. Moving on. Rhea Ripley, Liv Morgan, DQ, Raquel Gonzalez, Rodriguez, Mundastos, Estados Unidos. She's back, looking damn good. I was happy to see her. We're gonna need to see if this stuff can translate. It's been a long time since we seen how she gave it up at NXT. Her first initial run was it wasn't crazy as far as in ring, but after injury, I'm guessing. Look, I'm very optimistic about what we could get out of these matches. Hold up. Before we get into Cody and Roman taking on the Bloodline, I'm gonna go ahead and address a small elephant within the podcast community's room and basement. Um, Crown Jewel's coming up, and they're gonna have the Crown Jewel Championship. Much better than the world's biggest Royal Rumble idea. They had their title, they kept their title. Is there something that they're gonna do over there? Like, what are we doing next shows? I don't even know what Saudi Mania this is. Like a whole nother bag. But if there was anybody, and I mean anybody, that was gonna have an opportunity to really do this new era creative or participate in this new era creative, uh, it would be, for me, in my opinion, it would be Bill Goldberg. I think this is his time to, you know, be exactly what it was his first night back a few years ago. I'm looking forward to it. I don't know how it's gonna happen. I enjoyed every moment. Me personally, I'm watching the game, and I already know how I get most of the time. I kind of do that myself with riling up some energy. So I'm looking at it, and then we know how Bill is sometimes, So it's like, oh man, you just want to piss this guy off. And this goes back to my childhood. Like, everyone has their different resonances with these superstars over the time in one way or the next, whatever phase you're in. But I I see Bill, I see Goldberg, man, and it just harkens back to so many moments of dominance and me turning on the TV, and it's like, all right, I got to change the channel for 3 seconds or 30 seconds, and I'm gonna turn right back. And by the time I turn back, the Goldberg match was over with. So to know that he could potentially get in there again one more time and make the story, go out, or make the story finish out the way he wants it to. I mean, because I think he went out strong last time. That was pretty okay, but new era. Let's see what the creative can do. It was nice last time around, but I'm definitely optimistic toward what we could do for him moving forward, because I think it was a little it wasn't rushed. It was just not as well put together as we all foresaw it in them times before this. But now let's see what we get. Shoot, we might even get another year out of him. I don't know, here and there. I'm not saying trying to rush nobody off TV or on TV. I'm just saying it was nice. All right, look. Roman and Cody, Solo, Bloodline, everybody's doing great. New Bloodline's doing great. Jimmy's back. That's awesome. Can't wait for the rest of this, to be a thing. I mean, Jay's on Raw as Continental Champion. We gonna get into that. But, I mean, how are we gonna move over to Raw and finish this Bloodline thing up? Now we gonna help Cody out because the new Bloodline is beating him up. And she giving me a world, man. And then here comes the people's champ. Yeah. So I'm looking at the press conference. He is clearly around somewhere nearby. I said, hey, let me just come from behind the boardroom table and say hey to everybody. And I mean, look, it's levels to this final Boston. So it's nice to see from that sports entertainment perspective him come back, provide that electricity, be a super surprise at the end of the show. Is awesome. I was happy to see him. We gotta move forward, So now that he's back, it's work to do, and we'll get to it. Like, I'm guessing that the movie went well, and I think it really added to the character that he's about to put on screen for y'all, because I already foresee how wild this is going to get, but I'm going to just let the ride start. You know what I'm saying? And y'all going to be shocked at who's really driving this thing. But let's get in the Raw. Gunther overcomes Brazilian Sami Zayn. Sleeper hold knockout. That was fine. 2-hour Raw incoming. What are we doing? Ask Netflix. I understand. You do 3 hours for so long. Shouts to the game, man. At the press conference, he's speaking, and it's real. Like, I was right there with him the whole time, as far as just understanding and properly absorbing the next parts without necessarily going to too many parts of the wrestling community, which I guess we'll have to descend upon a bit, well, soonly, but I'm not rushing the idea at all, for real. CM Punk, and there's nothing wrong with the community. It's just like, let things calm down. because it's so much always in transition. Now, um, I knew Punk was going to do good. I knew Drew was going to do good, but at the end of the day, Drew does this a lot longer. Drew's been around a lot more often. If I'm looking at Punk getting in there and doing the thing, you know, this far along in his career, we all know he was probably going to need to take some time off and reassess whether or not he really wanted to do this, because you didn't just get, but it was a proven ground, and he definitely proved himself. That match, my opinion, um, he was, he went and fought. Please give me a moment. Pardon that. Yeah, so Drew, he's been doing this for a lot longer, and Punk isn't. I mean, it's good to see him walking out. I'd say give him 2 months and let him get back to it. He would definitely have solidified who he is as best in the world. He comes back and gets right back into the next feud. That's his only way. If not, we all know he's looking rather brittle. We all know the match was brutal. My opinion, I can't think of a better one of recent memory. I enjoyed it. Of course, I know the fans that love the blood and all the rest of that stuff, they got their fill. I enjoyed when the game spoke on the actual story. Like, we didn't need a hot spot. We didn't need all of the craziness, even though there was enough. The feud was actually just at that much of a boiling point. You could hear the game being in those situations, in those matches, and like stipulations and shit. Like, Three Stages of Hell was my favorite match of all time back in the day. Like, it was wild. Him and Austin, and I don't even know if this was before or after, what I'm saying, the power trip, but either way, he knows what it's like being in there and doing that, and then the psychology of it. So the story that they told was excellent. I enjoyed it a lot. Now, Punk with his future uncertain. See Seth right fast. Good chat. I hope he comes back for real, for real. We don't want him to go down. Like, every time he gets in the ring, it's a big injury, but like this is technically what the business is all about. So he'll be back. Now, Seth Rollins challenge Bronson Reed anytime, anywhere. Okay, we'll see how that plays out. Seth is smarter than Bronson. Bronson is really something else, though. And then they get the reaction that he's getting right now from the crowd. I'm happy to see it. So we've been pulling for Bronson. It took a while, but I see the sciences, man. And the game is just on another level when it comes to this weekly creative. He has a team behind him, and I'm watching how it's playing out. So the patterns, though I can recall them and people when they're happening, I'm gonna actually begin maybe looking a little further into the inscripted science of this. But let's move on. Jey Uso, Xavier Woods first title defense. I didn't want Woods to lose, but I was fine with the outcome on that one. Jay picking up the victory. He has the entire bloodline with him. We ain't getting there yet, but Woods on a darker, vibe. Like, I look at myself, and if I'm looking at this dynamic, and I see Josh, and I see his development, and I'm looking at Woods, and I'm seeing that same exact spot. So the match in the winner and loser, nobody came out weak there. I'm not really crazy about how the content had to get created, but if there's something there now, which there is for both of them, they have some solid momentum. Meanwhile, we got was it next week, Miz and R-Truth in some kind of wild match that was low-key egged on by Karrion Kross the whole time. You see, this goes into that. Karrion Kross was just messing with Woods. Woods in the darker space now. Who was it used to go in there? I believe respectfully. That was the thing with Bray and the Fiend. You go in there with the Fiend and you don't come out the same no more. Running back well before the Fiend, when the Wyatt family was still a Wyatt family. Woods was all looking at Bray like, what's going on here? And then leaning into that darkness, and there's levels to that being done. So I'm looking to see what the game has planned potentially, but let's not split the New Day. And Kofi trying to dap it up, keep everything cool, and maintain the peace. Good. What was it? Crazy shot, but we'll get there. After the match, Braun Breaker. Braun's gonna do what Braun wants to do. Now, let's not do too much because we still are developing character. Can't give an answer behind why he's still spearing everybody. Well, I mean, maybe the people should be catching spears then. Point blank. Like, I look at my own regular life and it's like, oh, I could think about 4 or 5 people that deserve a spear out what they would call seeming random unless they thought about it for a while. Like, nah, you had it coming. Did Jay have that spear coming? I mean, got his title. Cove from Woods. I mean, Woods should have ran down because he touched Cove. That's how I felt. That was my whole thing on it. But look, if Braun want to run through people, like who gonna talk him down? Who gonna talk him down? Like if I was back there and I'm kicking in, I wouldn't even say it's Pierce, but if I'm backstage and I see Braun on levels like that, I mean, or if I'm even Baron Corbin maybe, burn the ships. Go get them. Don't until you feel like what needs to be expressed is expressed. Rip and tear till it's done. That's how I feel. Now, Sheamus, Pete Dunne, good old fashioned Donnybrook. Oh man, that was I enjoyed the match. Sheamus with a new theme. Uh, I've never been in such a middle space with a theme song change because I'm usually not a fan of the changes. Like 85% of the time, I'm not happy that the theme song changed. I was mad at WrestleMania when Roman came back and it was like, oh shoot, all of the singing and all of that. And it's like, I can't wait to hear the theme song that we've all grown to love over the past couple of years. And they gave us what we have now and we're dealing with it. And sometimes you just have to laugh about it. And it was really easy for me this time around to laugh at it because I was laughing at myself more so because I could imagine who's out there that really likes the old school Sheamus song. Not the one that he had when he was Royal and Bruce, the one before that, with the singing and all that. I could imagine who was out there really, really liked that song and then had to deal with the agony. Because that's what it is at this point with these theme songs. The agony of knowing that one of your favorite superstar songs got changed. Like, really though? That's not okay. And we need to stop that immediately. Like, we need to do better with the musical choices, the production. Like if we get in this television value with the station and the production and all that stuff, like, that's cool. Let's get that same energy toward the music, please. Please, at least. Now that's that. What else? All right, now on to my favorite match of the night. I don't even remember half of what was going on. It was just so crazy. I'm not even going. Well, you know what? We had Natty, Lyra Valkyria, Zelina, Katana, Kaden, and then the Pure Fusion Collective with the Unholy Union in a 10-woman tag match. Chaos. I don't care. I loved it. I enjoyed every moment of it. I haven't seen a bunch of them in weeks. Natty was my favorite part. I'm only going to give the match a 9.9 because 2 points couldn't be there. But I definitely was happy to see everybody get in there and do their thing for the most part. I mean, it speaks to the future. I know it's not necessarily like the crispest for, some palates. However, I'm excited to see them get in there and do their thing because I know I can sense the excitement on them to get in there and do their thing. And then with so many in the ring, like I think if we haven't gotten past it, we're starting to turn the page on that. I'm too pretty to get down dirty in the ring. You know what I'm saying? Like let's like I said, I think we're moving past that, and the 10-woman tag match kind of showed that. Now, Gunther, Sami Zayn, World Heavyweight Championship, sleeper hold victory. Nah, old school stuff, man. Cody comes out at the end. All right, cool. Sami Zayn is in a good spot right now, looking like the underdog that might just win. We've got the false finishes culture being cultivated. We've got the stories and the psychology behind that being taught to anybody that's paying attention. And then we've got the superstar in Sami Zayn, and then we have somewhat of an impossible task of beating Gunther right there. So look, I'm liking it, man. I don't like Gunther looking so weak. You know what I'm saying? To where that has to happen, and then all of this, that is bad talk. Like, oh, this is kryptonite. No, that's not good. It speaks. I would speak to more the main roster than just Sami Zayn alone. After all of that chatter, like no, and then Gunther come back and get a completely dominant victory. You know, like that's just how that goes. Like, but Sami Zayn right now, I mean, IC champ. There's only one other direction for him. If he beat anybody, it shouldn't be Gunther. That's my opinion, but I don't know who would be the next champion to make it make sense. Got to make sense as far as transitioning into what could be the next part of the new era and having a seemingly smaller champion that doesn't exactly look the part. Like Gunther's already beginning that transition because he went from the larger weight to the smaller, more lean weight and looks great, but he doesn't have all of the added muscles. Sami Zayn is the same, but I think after Sami Zayn, we're gonna need something like a Braun Breaker. That's just my opinion. What's going on with Seth? What's happening there? Are we chasing this IC championship? A bunch of questions, no answers. 20 minutes. I'm done. I'll holler at y'all for the next one. And don't you worry.